जयति जगति मायां यस्य कायाधवस्थे वचन रचनमेकं केवलं चाकलह्य ध्रुवपदमपि यातो यत्कृपातो ध्रुवोऽयं सकल कुशल पात्रं ब्रह्मपुत्रं नतोऽस्मि. Yesterday, last Monday rather, what we saw that Narada has told us, Bhakti I will teach is different from all your ideas of Bhakti. In this respect, let me tell something, specifically to Ayan Banerjee and to all of you. No, Ayan is seen or not today. Ayan commented yesterday, afterwards, here also in chat also. Is Bhakti not basically dualism? Is Bhakti, can it harmonize with Aham Brahmasmi of the Advaita? From where he got these ideas? Both ideas are wrong. Aham Brahmasmi is not the final statement of Gyan, please remember. There are many people who make this mistake. Aham Brahmasmi, Aham is there. It is not final. Final Gyan is in Nirvikalpa Samadhi where I does not exist. And Gita, 18th chapter, 55 shlok if you read. Satya mam abhijanati yavan yasyasmi tatvata. Tato mam tatvato gyatva vishate tadanantara. It is only by bhakti that he gets the final knowledge. Gita statement. Now as to the other part, whether bhakti is not basically dualism. Without listening to Narad Bhakti Sutra, how you have determined it? Narada is telling the bhakti I will teach is different from all other bhaktis. And yesterday, I give the example of Prahlad. Prahlada was a born Jnani and Bhakta together. He was seeing Brahman everywhere. That is the final knowledge. In Nirvikalpa Samadhi, there is no all, there is no you, there is no I. And when this knowledge comes, when he opens his eyes and sees the world, then Brahman is everything. If Rajesh Kumar is listening, I am telling him also. Nirguna Brahma is not the only aspect of Brahman. Brahman is everything in the world. There is nothing apart from Brahman. Now, after Sri Ramakrishna's advent, if people think that bhakti is only in dualism, what to say? What to say? Pity on them. Previously, people did think. Thakur's two teachers, let us take. Vairvi Brahmani, representing all the bhaktas, thought bhakti is in dualism and jnana will dry up the bhakti. She told Thakur, don't mix with Vatapari. Your bhakti will dry up. Now Thakur, who used to listen to every smallest word of the Guru, did not listen to this. Because truth is greater than Guru. If Guru represents truth, fine. Otherwise not. And Tota also did not understand. At the evening time, Thakur started clapping his hands and chanting mother's name. And Tota joked at it. Don't roti thokta hai. Thakur said, keep quiet, I am taking mother's name. Then Tota also understood there is something in this. And when the Tota went to drown himself in the Ganges due to his stomach trouble, he could not drown. And then it flashed in him. He says, this is his mother, health is mother, death is mother, life is mother. So then only the jnana becomes complete. Yesterday, that day, I also told you very clearly what is Shuddha Jnana and what is Shuddha Bhakti. When the reality who is beyond, if reality is only beyond, it is half knowledge or Ashuddha knowledge. That reality which is beyond is also here. If you want to listen to Shankaracharya, Ishopanishad, 8th mantra you open and Shankar's commentary you see. He is telling a sentence which is almost Thakur sentence. There are two words there, basic words. Paribhu Swayambhu. Pari means Shankaracharya says, Upari. Sarvasya Upari Vartate iti Paribhu. The absolutely transcendent being. And then Swayambhu, Yasya Upari Vartati, Yascha Upari Vartati, Sa Swayameva Bhavati iti Swayambhu. That which is beyond, and from that, it is beyond, both is he himself. That is Swayambhu. Anyway, so let me come back to Thakur. Thakur practiced all the bhavas and showed that every bhava ends in Advaita knowledge. After that, to think that bhakti is in Dvaita, I said pity to him. So, let us come back to Narada. And yesterday we saw that we have to think of Anubandha Chatushtaya specifically in this context, in this connection. Prahlad and Dhruva attained Samadhi. We know who is Narad. There are hundreds of stories about Narad. But we know Narad only in two forms. And both are reflected in the Sutra. We know Narada as the student of Sanat Kumar in the Chandogya 7th chapter. And there Sanat Kumar leads him step by step into Advaita knowledge. Not stopping at Aham Brahmasmi. He leads him to the highest knowledge. And same Narada, he has taken Sanat Kumar's name several times in this sutra as his guru. And same Narada we know as teacher of Dhruva and Prahlad, that we have seen on last occasion, on Monday. And the Mangalacharan, the Pranam mantra which we chanted also tells us that Narada, hearing one sentence from him, Prahlad attained the supreme, Prahlad won over Maya. When I wrote the book and I sent it to many devotees and friends, I told you. One of my friends, Madan Mohan Mathur, he said, what is this, Maharaj? He said, Advaita Jnana, you are telling Bhakti. For his sake, I had to revise and show him that in the Narada Bhakti Sutras itself it is mentioned. So yesterday I concluded this point and I am starting from there now. Yesterday I told you that this aim of life, how it is described in the Narada Bhakti Sutra. If you go to Sutra 33, if you have the sutras in your hand, please go to Sutra 33. Tasmat sa eva grahya mumukshuvi. Who is a mumukshu? Who wants moksha? If you want moksha, take this bhakti which I am telling you. That is what Narada says. Not any bhakti which Tom, Dick and Harry have taught you or what is in your mind. Take this bhakti which I am teaching you if you want moksha. So the prayojan is moksha is clear according to Narada Bhakti Sutras. Then go to Sutra 46 and 50 together. In 46, Narada has raised a question himself. Kastarati mayam. Who goes beyond Maya? And in 50, he concludes the topic, Satarati sarlokanstare. So going beyond Maya is it not the prayojan? Another form of prayojan is going beyond Maya. Otherwise, remain in Maya eternally. We go to Sutra 84, last Sutra. Last Sutra. What will this Narad Bhakti Sutra study lead you to? He says you will get real bhakti. Two steps he is telling you. On Monday I told you this also. First you will get real bhakti. Secondly you will attain God. So attaining God, what is attaining God? Shall I tell a story? Suppose I get a vision in which I see God. That is not attaining God. I will tell you a story in detail. In Maharashtra, there has been a famous saint named Namadeva. Many of you have heard about him. Namadeva was the son of a tailor. And this tailor was a great devotee. So every day after the food was cooked in the house, he used to carry in a thali plate and take it to the nearby temple, Vithoba's temple. And he used to offer it to Vithoba. Now we know that the Pujari will take away everything, little will keep as prasad, and then you take it back. This was happening day after day. Now this gentleman had to go on a long tour. For 2 months he would be absent. So he told his son, Namdeva, you are the young boy. Namdev, when your mother cooks food, take in a plate and feed Vithoba with that. That was his words. Feed Vithoba with that. Now, next day he took food, went to the temple, kept it before Vithoba. Please eat, please eat, please eat. Vithoba is not eating. The pujari tells him, go away, come after half an hour, I will give you prasad. He says, no, my father has told me to feed Vithoba, I will not go. And he has seen father bringing empty plate with a little prasad. So my father feeds Vithoba, I will also feed. Now he's sitting and praying and sitting and praying, started weeping bitterly. Vithoba used to take food from my father, you are not taking from me. Vithoba came out of that image and ate the food. And this became a daily occurrence for those 2 months. Namdev became a big devotee, famous devotee. As he realized God, now he got ahankar due to this. In those days, under Gyaneshwar Maharaj's leadership, a peculiar thing was there in Maharashtra. From every caste, there was a saint. From every caste, there was a saint Chokha Mela from what we call the scheduled caste. And Chokha Mela and his wife, if you see the wife's poetry, it is full of Advaita. Gyaneshwar Maharaj, his elder brother was his guru, Nivrittinath. Gyaneshwar's next brother was Sopa, and younger sister was Muktabai. She was a super Gyani. Now one day, all these are sitting together. There was another, Gora the potter. Now these potter people have a piece of wood in their hand. Just like a clerk or a student is known by the pencil he carries. What they do, after the pots are heated properly, baked properly, they heat it with that slab. And if the sound is correct, it is okay. They will go to the shop. And if the sound is not correct, it will come back to the oven again. For that purpose, they have a small, you may say, plate of wood with a small handle. That they always carry. When they are all sitting together, Mukta has understood and recognized Namdev's ego. But she tells as if a joke. Gora brother, will you check which pots are baked and which are raw even? Other thought some joke is going on. So this Gora Potter rises and hits everybody's head with that wooden slab. And they're roaring with laughter, Mukta joke. When it comes to Namdev, Namdev becomes very angry. Without manners, you don't have any idea how to deal with saints. Gora brother tells Muktabai, sister, one pot has remained unbaked. And everybody is laughing. Namdev is angry, but where will he show his anger? All are laughing. He goes to the temple and says, Vitova, there was insult of your devotee today. Everybody is telling you are not right, you are half-baked. Vitova tells him, yes, it is true that you are half-baked. Then why you have not made me fully baked up till now? The occasion had not come. Your mind was not ready for that. Then please now make me complete. He said, no, not in that way. In the near village, there is a Shiva temple. And there is a saint called Visoba. You go there, he will make you complete. Namdev said, oh my God, do as I am telling you. If you want to be complete. So Namdev goes to that village, to that temple. It is a Shiva temple, and one old man with both his legs on the Shiva pindi is lying there. Namdev becomes tremendously angry. So he is a devotee of Vithoba, but so much insult to Shivji he cannot bear. And he abuses that man. Why? He said, I have become too old. I cannot lift my legs. You better put my legs in some other place if you don't like it. So he took his feet, hurled them angrily and threw them in the spot. And wherever he threw, a Shiv pindi came out. Namdev took again his feet, again threw in some other spot. There one Shiv pindi came out. So when it happened like this again and again, then Namdev asked that man, what is your name? He said, Visoba. Oh, Visoba sent me to you. He said, yes. Visoba already informed me that I am sending my duty, make it complete. You have not understood the all-pervading nature of God. What have you understood? If you have not understood God is everything, what have you understood? What Namdev saw up till now, I am telling, from the image is a stone image or a wooden image. From that, a living being came out, that we agree. Chetan person came out. You may even say a particular deity came out. Was it God? Did Namdev realize God? Now, after Visoba taught him, Namdev became a devotee of Vimasa Nirguna Brahma. And then he became free in his mind, roamed throughout India. He came to Punjab and composed many songs in Hindi Punjabi. And if you know, in the 6 Guru Granth Sahib, where they believe Nirakar more, firstly Namdeva songs are given, Kabira songs are given, and then the Guru songs are given. So Namdeva song becomes the basis of Guru Granth Sahib. I think I told you in detail. Realizing God and seeing God by eyes is not the same thing. You realize God, your consciousness has to change. Your consciousness has to see the nature of God. And the nature of God is one without a second. There is nothing in this world which is not God. Unless you come to that position, your bhakti is not real. Swami Vivekananda, when he came back from America, the Rameshwaram temple, he was asked to give a short speech. That speech is so important. The Raja of Ramnad got it engraved on the wall next to the door there. And when these non-God believing parties got the kingdom. They thought even the engravement will go away. So they made it engraved with gold, that speech. And what is that speech? Swamiji is telling those who see Shiva in this temple or in this image, their bhakti is preliminary. In Rameshwaram, in the seat of orthodoxy, and those who see Shiva in all the beings, their devotion is right. And this speech has been engraved. You can go even today. So you can understand what is real bhakti. And that is why Narada told in the very beginning that I will teach you a bhakti which will fulfill your life, but it will not be like the bhakti you feel. And if you try to judge it from that, it will get mixed up. So Narada is requesting us that keep aside your ideas of bhakti, then listen to my ideas. After you have fully grasped what I am telling, and I am telling is also not his language. We are telling. And he has quoted 15, 16 gurus and say they are all one opinion about this. On their behalf, we are telling you. So, I have now told you from the Narada Bhakti Sutra itself, attaining God was the point, so I described all this. In the last sutra, he has told, with the help of this sutra, you will attain real bhakti, and with the help of that real bhakti, you will attain God. And God is described as Preshta, the dearest. I told you, Narad Bhakti Sutra is pure Vedanta in a different form, in a different language. In Vedanta, what is God called, you know? You might have heard the word Satchit Ananda. Satchit Ananda is an objective description of God. When somebody experiences Satchidananda, then his words change. Asti Bhati Priya. Asti, God is. Bhati, he shines, he is seen. Priya is the dearest. Highest authority of Jnana Yoga is Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. There also he says, how to think of God? For many people I am telling you, one of the bhavas with which one can worship God. God is my being. God is my Atman. Then the question arises, isn't it too abstract? Can you not tell me something about this Atman? Please take the reference. I am not giving the mantra, but the reference. Brihadaranyaka 147. 147, worship God as Atman. 148, what is Atman? The dearest. Worship God, you don't. I am getting tears in my eyes. The only way to worship God as self is to think that He is the dearest. That is Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, please. One more point, let me tell you here. My Guruji, when he started going to Mahapurush Maharaj, his Guru, first day or within 2-3 meetings, Mahapuruji told him, Beta, you have to study Upanishads. He was a student of philosophy, psychology. But he replied, what is the use of studying that Ghata and Pata? You know, in Vedantic discussion, Ghata is a jar made of clay, Pata is a cloth made of these fibers, and this discussion always comes. So what is the use of studying that Ghata and Pata? Is not the main thing loving God? Mahapuruji says, yes, my boy, the main thing is to love God, but it has love as a science. Remember, you cannot love God as you like. Love has a science. And then it is. Please note down a famous Rishivakya. My boy, Upanishads are the best Bhakti Shastras in the world. This is what Mahapurush Maharaj told me. You know, my teacher became famous in the Ramakrishna Mission for teaching scripture. This poor fellow learned from him only. And what he taught? Upanishads are the best Bhakti Shastras. Where are we? How we distinguish Jnana and Bhakti? Yesterday I told you the difference is only in the mental approach. I am not going to discuss that again. So, what is Bhakti? As Narada will teach us. Subject matter. We are discussing four things now. Adhikari, Vishaya, Sambandha, Prayojan. So, Vishaya or subject matter is what Narada will teach us. He is teaching us Bhakti. Normally, what is Bhakti? Suppose we have not come to Narada. When somebody says Bhakti, what is the idea rising in our mind? Anybody's mind. Just please, Ramakrishna's disciple Swami Brahmanandaji used to tell in the name of Thakur. Oh, he's telling it in English. Thakur told him in Bengali, but he's telling us in English. He said, Thakur told me, love and respect and love. If there is love without respect, anything, we see the boy and girl loving and we see hundreds of types of taking to ruination. And if you only respect, love will not come. Some people are very great and we salute them from 100 foot distance. We cannot go near them. So love and respect, normal idea of bhakti I am telling, not Narada's idea. Normal idea of bhakti is that, and I used to repeat from both sides. Thakur taught us love and respect and love. Now,
Pranams Maharaj.
huh?
Someone is disturbing your presentation. There's someone called Muthu Karupan Ravi. He needs to mute his mic, otherwise he's creating a lot of disturbance.
हाँ on है ना सुन रहे हैं सारे सुन रहे हैं
There is one
अच्छा
person
अच्छा
who
okay
is has his
okay
mic on
I
and it is
request okay I request everybody to keep your mic off. Your mic is disturbing my speech. Please keep all your mics off until you have to ask a question. That time only open your mic and tell me. Otherwise, keep mics off. Okay. So, what is bhakti? A pull towards God. I will define bhakti like this, or Narada is telling like this. A pull towards God. God is pulling us. In Sri Ramakrishna's example, God is the magnet and we are all needles. But if the needle is covered by mud, it cannot feel the attraction. As soon as the mud is released, the needle feels pulled by the magnet. This pull in Bengali, tan, in Hindi, khichao, in Marathi, od, khichao, tan, pull towards God. This is bhakti. And where is this God? Narada will tell us. I do not want to jump. But this pull to God, this is bhakti. This includes both. Respect. God is the greatest thing for us. Should we not have respect? Whether dualism or anyism. Mind you, dualism is much higher than a common man. Huh? Dualist knows there is God and is pulling me. He is the greatest thing in the world. Now, we sometimes feel, I have heard many complaints from people. We love God, we worship God. It is one sided, He does not respond. I said, we have no power to love God. God is loving us eternally. God is loving every creature eternally. When we are impure, we cannot feel that pull. When we are somewhat pure, we feel that pull. But this fellow ego, our mind, it comes in between. And the reflection is always virtual, you know. In a mirror reflection, this side appears that side this side. So this mirror of ego makes us feel that I am loving God. All the devotees, please listen. Being carried away, what can I do? We feel we are loving God, we are not getting any response. It is a false idea. Because of little purity, we have been able to feel God's pull. But this rascal ego makes it appear as if we are loving. So, the subject matter is pulled towards God. And Prayojan I already told. You may call it by any name. Purnatva, realizing God, moksha. They are not different things. Don't be afraid of the word moksha, don't want moksha. If you realize God, you are free. Are you bound? Even after realizing God, then what have you realized? You are free. So, that is the prayojan. Then, who is the adhikari? Who is sweet recipient? I told Monday. Again, I am repeating. One who is ready to change himself. One is ready to change his ideas. One who is ready to change his habits, as Narada will teach him. As Narada will teach him, he has to change himself. That is Adhikari. You may hear many tales about Adhikari. Adhikari is not outside, not Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, not Sannyasi, outer, not Purush or Sri or any such thing. Adhikari is one who is ready to change himself as Narada will teach him. Then, connection. Connection is at every step. How this Narada Sutras will make us realize God, that how is connection. And how is? Same thing. Changing our ideas. Man is ready to give up many things, but not his idea. That you remember. If you ask somebody for a big donation, he will give. Change your ideas, that he will not do. He thinks his identity is contained in those ideas. And if you are ready to change your ideas, as Narada will teach you, that is the connection between study of Narad Bhakti Sutras and realizing God. This is the connection. You have to change your ideas as Narada will teach you. Then, one more thing let me tell you. In Hindi, there is a couplet. Those who understand Hindi, others I will tell in English later on. राम नाम सब कोई कहे, ठक्कर ठाकुर और चोर, जिस नाम से ध्रुव प्रहलाद करे वह नाम कछु और. Again, ध्रुव प्रहलाद example is coming. Ram Nam is taken by many people. Those who cheat people, they also take Rama's name. Rich people, Thakur, lords, rich people, they also take Rama's name. Maybe for sure. And the thieves, they also take Rama's name. But that name by which Dhruva and Prahlad crossed over this sansar, that is different. No, name is not different, you all know. But the attitude which the name is being taken is different. And this proper attitude is what Narada will teach us. Another thing, let me tell you in the introduction itself. Narada Bhakti Sutras are mainly based upon the Bhagavad Gita, mainly based upon the Gita. All the references Narada will give will be from Gita, with one exception, one or two exceptions. And there, Narada Bhakti Sutras are based upon Bhagavatam. Because when he has to give the examples of ideal bhaktas, he will give the example of gopis. And that is from Bhagavatam. And Narada Bhakti Sutra is based upon Upanishadic ideas because his guru has taught him, Sanat Kumar. So, this is the Adhar of Narada Bhakti Sutras. Now, let us go to the text. With all this big introduction, let us go to the text. And you will see, as I was telling you that day, that this fellow has divided these sutras into chapters and sections, trying to feel the connection between them. Now, first chapter name is name given by me, not by Narada. Many people are given different names. Bhakti Swarupam, the real nature of bhakti. In that, the first section also is Bhakti Swarupam. In the first chapter, there will be three sections: Bhakti Swarupam, Bhakti Lakshanani, and Bhakti Nirnaya. And then it will come, we shall see. Now I am telling Bhakti Swarupam. Now Narada starts. Athato Bhaktim Vyakhyasyaamaha. Do you remember something, students of Vedanta, students of Yoga Shastra? In Yoga Shastra, Panjali started telling Atha Yoganushasana. There was no Atha there. Vedanta Sutras, as we call them, Vyasadeva Sharirik Mimamsa, Atha Atho Brahma Jigyasa. Atha Atho both are there. Here Atha Atho Bhaktim Vyakhyasyaama. Atha means now. Now what is now? According to my Guruji, always used to say, at a proper psychological moment. That is now. And Shankara will tell us, now is not after something. It is not one fine morning we decide to study Narada Bhakti Sutra. It is not that we have become old, so now we have to study Narada Bhakti Sutra. So what is now? I have tried to understand this now. At a psychological point, when the sadhak keenly desires fulfillment, let us think of this, moksha or whatever you will call it. I like to call the goal of life as fulfillment of life. When I will feel, I have realized, when I achieved everything that I wanted to achieve, nothing is left behind. That is called fulfillment of life. When the sadhaka keenly desires fulfillment, is yearning to realize God, to get freedom by going beyond the relative, all Prayojana joined in this three. And when he feels that he can get it through bhakti, instinctively it is in his mind and he sees people, so he feels he will get through bhakti and he is ready to be guided by Narada, who successfully guided Prahlad and Dhruva and is willing to change himself as guided by him at such a psychological point. Atha means now, Now means at such a psychological point when we are eager to realize God, when we are eager to get fulfillment in life, and we'll get it through bhakti is our feeling. And we have to be guided by Narada, who guided Dhruva and Prahlad successfully. When we have this type of mind, at this psychological point, is the meaning of the word atha or now. What is atha? Therefore, there are many tendencies appearing like bhakti, but they do not reach us to perfection. Thousands of people is he doing bhakti. Are they reaching perfection? Now in this Kali Yuga or present Yuga, bhakti has grown. Do you know? I will give an example. When I visited Amarnath in 1982, 1500 people on main Ravan Purnima day and no, 1500 people on Guru Purnima day and 15,000 on Shravan Purnima day. And no militancy. And now being troubled by militancy, 6 lakhs people last year. So bhakti has grown and side by side immorality has grown in India. So what is this bhakti useful for? So there are many tendencies appearing like bhakti, but they do not reach us to perfection. Hence, there is need of being what real bhakti is, learning. Therefore, we can say also hence, because there are many paths, because there are many tendencies like bhakti, but they are not helping us to reach perfection. Hence, we must learn what is real bhakti. Hence, right bhakti will surely help us to reach the goal. Hence, Atha means hence. Why? Right bhakti will surely help us to reach the goal. Therefore, without getting this fulfillment, life's problems are not solved. Therefore, without getting this perfection, without getting this fulfillment, life's problems are not solved. What is our life? I remember an old incident. I was in Mumbai and there were regular talks in Bank Colony. One person deliberately asked me, he knew it. Maharaj, those who are satisfied with this life, there is no religion for them, no need of religion for them. Isn't it? I said, yes, perfectly all right. Those who are satisfied with this life, no God or religion for them. But tell me, who is satisfied? Is our life not a continuous adjustment with dissatisfaction? Tell me. Keep your hand on your chest and tell me, is not life continuous adjustment with dissatisfaction? Where are we satisfied? The problems of life are never solved. But once we reach perfection, no problem of life remains before. That is perfection. That is fulfillment. I gave you one example also. Remember that. Ramakrishna's disciple Swami Sardananda is standing on a platform waiting for some train. He was a man of tremendous control, but his sevak felt that he has come too much forward.
Oh,
So Maharaj, you have come too much forward. What will
huh?
happen? You may fall down. What will happen if I fall down? The engine is coming, it will cut your body. What will happen if it cuts my body? And then he enters, I have done what I had to do. I have achieved what I had to achieve. Let the engine cut my body. This is fulfillment. I have attained what I have to attain. I have done what I had to do. Let the engine cut my body. Nothing happens to me. Otherwise, life's problems are not solved. Infinite problems, family problem, social problems. I go to the extent of telling economic problems, political problems are not solved by economic or political methods. Every problem is solved if we reach perfection in our life. And we help others also to solve their problems of life. Narada says, Satarati Satarati se lokans tareti. Hence, we want to study this. And Narada, we find, because he has guided Dhruva Prahlad and many others, we find he is capable of guiding us. Hence, we have come to Narada Sutra. So, Atam is therefore, means hence, many tendencies appear like bhakti, not giving us fulfillment. Hence, we must learn what is the real bhakti. Hence, right bhakti will surely help us to reach the goal. Hence, without getting the fulfillment, the problems of life are not solved. Hence, Narada is capable of guiding us. Hence, this is the meaning of the word Atha. Atha, Atha. Sutra has tremendous meaning in each word. Bhaktim Vyakhyāsyāma. Bhakti, I already told you, Bhakti is love and respect, or better definition, Bhakti is the pull of God. But what is the inside of this Bhakti? How this pull of God really comes? We have to learn. So Narada is telling Bhakti, whatever your idea of Bhakti, I will teach you real Bhakti. Now it does not say I. He uses a plural here, Vyakhyāsyāma. Vyakhyāsyāma, what is the root word? Kya. Kya means knowledge. Akhya, knowledge from all sides. Vyakhya, we akhya, we means special, we means anubhuti purna. So Vyakyan, when we say lecture, Vyakyan means expressing in such a way that you experience. And now, used in plural, Vyakhyāsyāma, we are going to guide you. Who are we? That Narada tells in Sutra 83. You go to Sutra 83. इति एवं वदन्ति जनजल्प निर्भया एकमता कुमार व्यास शुक शांडिल्य गर्ग विष्णु कौंडिन्य शेष उद्धव आरुणि बलि हनुमत विभीषणादयो भक्ताचार्य आदि. And Narada said they are all of one opinion. And that is why, another point I introduce here. Well, yesterday, on Monday, I told that point. I told you on Monday that some great people think that this is not what Thakur meant by when he told Naradi Bhakti. But because Naradi Bhakti is comprehensive, Naradi Bhakti is harmonious, Naradi Bhakti is exactly according to Thakur's ideas, so it is this book for us. So see, a long list he has given. So Vyakhyāsyāma means on behalf of all of them I am speaking, or we are speaking. Now, second sutra. Satu param asmin parama prema. Two parts. Sa means the bhakti which I will teach. Sa means the real bhakti. Why should any adjective be given to that bhakti? Bhakti is real bhakti. If it is not real, then some adjective has to be given. This bhakti, that bhakti. So, real bhakti, but in Sanskrit, this word tu, it comes in between a sentence, though for meaning, we have to take it out and read it first. In English, we say but. Now what is this but? Those who are interested in technicalities, please take down the meaning of tu. Atad vyavrutti in Sanskrit. Atad vyavrutti or anya vyavrutti. Atad vyavrutti or anya vyavrutti. Anya vyavrutti means removal of other things. Atad vyavrutti means that which is not real, something else appearing as bhakti. You have to remove those ideas. That is the meaning of the word tu here. As soon as it says, I will teach you bhakti, we'll say, we know, sir, we know, sir, we know bhakti. This is but remove those ideas of bhakti. So that is the meaning of the word tu. And in this Narad Bhakti Sutra, several times we are going to meet this fellow tu. Because everywhere our ideas are wrong, Narada has to correct them. So this tu will come again and again. Sadhu. Now the first difference. First difference between Narada Bhakti and all other bhaktis. Asmin. Asmin means in this. No, this and that. This means nearest of the near. That means away. That means remote. He is not going to teach something about remote. God is somewhere in heaven and we have to love him. We have not seen him and we have to love him. God is the nearest of the near. God is what is nearest to the near? Our mind or we are in the world. God is near. We are in our body. God is near. We are in our indriyas. God is near. We are in our mind. God is near. We are in our eye consciousness. God is near. The nearest of the near. And about that nearest of the near, that means as soon as the word bhakti is uttered, we think of some temple, some god. Yes, they are all fine. About temples, I will tell you some funny thing. Two foreigners, maybe Americans, came to India and after long travel went back. One of them says, these people are so superstitious. Sometimes they bow down to a tree, sometimes to some stone. The other man says, not only superstitious, they are mad. They create a beautiful image, stand in front of that image and close their eyes. Why they have created beautiful images, they want to close their eyes? They are mad people. You understand? This is a reply to the first question. Temples or images are meant for us to see inside. When we look to a beautiful image, our mind must turn inside and find God there. That is the very use of temples. And Swami Vivekananda said he also felt like that in the beginning. But he has learned now, no Hindu is an idol worshipper, Swamiji says. No Hindu, he says, I have seen, oh tree give me this, oh stone give me this. He prays to God alone. If God is suggested to him by a tree, if God is suggested to him by a stone, he goes there. What harm is there? But he is praying to God only. So, Asmin is the first point. Thakur said in Bengali, jar hetay ache, tar hotay ache. Jar hetay nahi, tar hotay nahi. One who has God in his being, or him God exists everywhere. If God is not here, he is nowhere. Mahaprabhuji said the same thing. When you feel God is here, you are halfway in already. You are on the path of knowledge. So long as you feel God is there, it is ignorance They are not on the way to God. So Narada's first point of Narad Bhakti is different from our bhaktis. We may see it outside. Sometimes outside, inside is a delusion created by our mind. When we come to the Gopis Bhakti, we'll understand. Well, let me utter one shloka by the Gopis, the most famous shloka in the Gopi Gita. Nakhalu Gopika Nandano Bhavan Akhila Dehinam Antaratmadri Vikhana Sarthito Vishwaguptaye Sakha Udeyivan Sattvatam Kule. We know full well that you are not the son of a gopi. You are not a man. A Dehi is one who lives in the Deha. Akhila Dehina, of all the people who live in their bodies, Antaratma Drik. From inside of them, you are the witness or you are the knower of everybody's inside most. That is what you are. It is a different matter. Vikhanasa is Brahma. Arthito, when Brahma prayed to you for the protection of the world, oh darling, Sakha, oh friend of ours, you have taken birth in this particular race, Sattvatam Kule, but you are not a man. So sometimes when the consciousness tells us, we see something outside, but is our reality. So Narada says, first point is towards the innermost reality. Second point in next talk. Om Jayati Jagati Mayam Yasya Kaya Dhavaste Vachana Rachanam Ekam Kevalam Chakadaya Dhruvapadamapi Yato Yat Krupato Dhruvoyam Sakala Kushala Patram Brahmaputram Natosmi. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanam.